My throat is just killing me, dude. Hello, everyone. It's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. In today's video, we are going to be doing a character tier list for most of the important characters in the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS anime. Now, I am very deep into a 24-hour stream. I've been live for about 11 hours now. We got the beautiful Twitch chat here that's been supporting me, so thankful for all of them. And to be honest, my throat is killing me. I am exhausted. It is 6:50 in the morning currently, so I might seem a little lifeless in this video. But that being said, my opinions are going to be my opinions, and, you know, I don't even know what that means. Obviously, my opinions are my opinions. Listen, intros when you're exhausted are never a good idea, but they're genuine, and I think without further ado, let's get right to it. I hope you guys enjoy my Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS character tier list. Before we get into the video, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, and that is Skillshare. If you don't know what Skillshare is, it's this amazing platform where you can sign up and take a bunch of different classes. I mean, they have everything from art to time management to finance to video editing, and this product isn't like other holiday sales you're seeing. It's not about consumption or more stuff or more clutter. It's about you, and I think that's what I love about Skillshare the most. It's about your passions, your curiosities, your creative spirit and growth. It's about doing something for yourself all year long, and now is the perfect time to invest in yourself. Personally, I took a productivity week planner, which was taught by Ben Rowlands, and I really wanted to just make my time management skills a lot better so I can more accurately plan out my weeks and, of course, plan out my videos and shorts for all of you guys to enjoy. I feel like the more on top of my time management I am, the more content there is for you guys, and so it's a win-win situation. The class was insanely informative, and I will certainly be taking some more time management classes in the near future. The first 1,000 people to use the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So head to that description, click the link, and start learning and spoiling yourself today. You will not regret it. All right, so here is the tier list, if you will. Shout out to Shining Butterfly Pink Penguin for sending me this. So if you don't know what these are, basically they're just kind of a fun way to do like a ranking of characters. So like if a character is super good, the best of the best, they would go in S tier. If they're really good, but maybe a little room for improvement, A. Mid is B. B is solid, but you know, B is good. B is good. C, I would say, is more like eh. Mid. And then F is just character is terrible. That's at least kind of how I have my letter ranking systems. Everyone does them a little differently, but that's just kind of how we're gonna do them. So we are going to start with Yusaku, aka Playmaker, the main protagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. This is a tough one, man. I really do like Yusaku a lot. He's definitely not an S tier for me. There was definitely a lot, I think, with his character that could have been improved. I'm kind of flirting between A or B, to be honest with you. I think another loss would have done his character really well. I think a little more growth, but I'm gonna put him in A. I think he was a very good protagonist. Would have liked to learn a little bit more about his backstory. There were a few things like his link sense that just kind of disappeared from the entire storyline. That's not really his fault. It's more the writers of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. So what are you gonna do? But he's an A character, I think. Definitely not S. A or B. I'm gonna put him in A. Next up, we got Soulburner. Soulburner is an interesting one. I really didn't love him when he first came on because I felt like, all right, he's kind of the new toy and all the other characters are just basically playing second fiddle to him. But as he went on, as he developed, that revolver duel, he was fantastic. I'm going to also put him in A. Again, for me, I just don't give S ranks out too much. Soulburner and Playmaker, they're both very enjoyable characters. Soulburner is probably a little higher than Playmaker for me personally. I don't think he got off to the strongest of starts. I don't like kind of what they did with him in the beginning with his character arc, but man, by the end I was fully rooting for him. So yeah, he's an A tier for sure. Jin Kusanagi, I'll put him in C. I don't have too much to say about him. I mean, kind of forgettable, kind of there just as a character that other characters could use to save and play hero ball with. Yeah, Jin's a C for me. I think that's fine. Spectre is, man, I want to put him in A so bad. I could have even argued S at one point because he was so freaking good. But at the end of the day, he didn't say a word in Season 3, and I have to put him in B tier because of that. Because of how they used him in Season 3, that does affect his character ultimately, and I have to put him in B for that reason. I would love to put him in S. I would love to put him in A. He had S tier potential for sure. He could have been an incredible villain. He could have been an incredible, you know, gray character, as he was when he dueled Lightning. I mean, his duel against Lightning is one of the best duels in Yugioh VRAINS, but after that duel, what did he do? Literally nothing. In Season 3, besides the final episode, the last 5 minutes, he didn't even say a word. He was killed and defeated off screen. That's crazy. He was such a compelling character, so hurts my heart to do it, but he's B tier for that reason, and good, but, you know, the writing team really affected him being higher rankings. I, man, oh boy, yeah, I is gonna be S tier for me. I absolutely loved his character arc in the final season. If it wasn't for that final season, he's probably like B or C because I enjoyed his humor, although I thought it was a bit stale. But what they did with him in the very final season of Yugioh VRAINS and how his character came completely full circle, I feel like he was one of the best characters in VRAINS when it all was said and done. And I feel pretty good about S tier. I think SA is, you know, if you want to put him in A, I think that's probably fair as well. Robapi was great for a short period of time. I'm going to put her in B. You know, the truth of the matter is, yes, she was a very, very interesting character in Season 3, but up until Season 3, I mean, she was just, she was nothing. So I can't put her higher than B. I think it'd be crazy to argue A or S for Robapi. Maybe B is even a little high. Honestly, if you put her at C, I think that would also be probably completely fine. But I think because of that duel against Soulburner and what she became in the final season, which was really out of left field, I didn't expect it at all. I'm completely fine with Robapi being B tier. That's where I have him. Flame for a very long period of time was my favorite Ignis. He's no longer. He's probably third, but in like when he first debuted, I actually liked Flame more than I liked Soulburner. I really did. So Flame, I'm gonna put A tier. I thought he was a really cool Ignis. I loved what he did for Soulburner in that final duel against Revolver when he passed away. I loved everything he did for Soulburner. I mean, he really helped Soulburner and Homura as a person come out of his shell, take that step forward that he so desperately needed to take. And Flame, I think, probably a very underrated character because you don't really think of him when you think of the Ignis. You think of you think of Lightning, and you don't really think of him when you think of your heroes. You think of Soulburner, right? But Flame, man, underrated, A tier, really, really good character. Windy, after some consideration, I'm going to put Windy in B. Liked Windy as that crazy, unhinged Ignis villain to kind of counter Lightning, more stoic, a little more planned out. You know, I wouldn't put him in C, but he's good. He's solid. Earth. Earth I would also put in B. Yeah, Earth was alright. His death scene was obviously brutal. I liked his awkwardness. There was something very charming about that. And so, yeah, Earth is B. Again, C to me is very much like, they're alright. And B is kind of like, yeah, they're solid. So I think B tier is probably where Earth is, because I don't look at Earth and think like, yeah, he was okay. So B tier is probably fine. And actually, I'll just play off of that. I'm going to put Aqua in B as well. I loved her relationship with Aoi. I think she really helped Aoi kind of come out of her shell a little bit, go from Blue Girl to Blue Maiden, helped her a lot in the Bowman duel. I also liked the relationship she had with the other Ignis. And so I have her in the B tier as well, right next to Earth. And, you know, the two of them belong together, so I think that's probably fitting to have them next to each other. So, you know how I said there was one other character in VRAINS that I would put in the S tier. It is not Lightning. Lightning's A. A little bait and switch. Lightning, listen, was fantastic. Probably my second favorite Ignis. I think I would have him ranked ahead of Flame. And listen, I think you could make the case for S tier. I think he is one of the only villains in the last 5 years that's probably a top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh villain. He's one of the only villains post Arc 5 that's a top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh villain. That's how highly I think of him. That's how highly I respect his character. He's fantastic, and I genuinely think he kind of borders that A-S range. He's probably the highest A rank that I would put in here. Fantastic character, fantastic villain, a much needed villain for VRAINS in that second season after Revolver played a more rival role. Yeah, Lightning's great. Haru, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put him as F. I just didn't care for him at all. I really didn't. His stuff with Bowman was like a little heartwarming, a little bit, but it probably did more for Bowman's character, I think, than it did for Haru's. And I don't know, it was just honestly super forgettable for me. Maybe F is a little harsh. Maybe C. And by the way, I see a couple of people in the comments saying it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault necessarily. All of this is the writers, right? I mean, the characters can only do so much, but I didn't really connect with Haru at all, and yeah. Bowman is B. B for Bowman. I think he's solid. I know a lot of people hate Bowman. A lot of people despise him. Pete would probably put him in S tier. I mean, Pete loved the guy. Yeah, his character went through a lot of transformations, and a lot of them were kind of weird. At one point, he thought he was the real playmaker. The first duel, he didn't have his memories. Then he was perfecting himself. He went through a lot of weird decisions. I feel like the writing team made a lot of like last-minute changes with him. But all in all, he was fine. I'll give him a B tier. Oh boy, Aoi Zaizen. My heart so badly wants to put her near the top. I love Aoi. I love what she symbolizes and could have been, but I'm gonna put her in B. And listen, I've done a whole. I don't need to convince anyone how much I love Aoi Zaizen. I've done a whole YouTube video. I'll link it down below on why Aoi Zaizen deserved better. Let's just type in Aoi Zaizen deserved on Google. There it is. There it is. And there was a reply to it. I haven't watched that video. Maybe I'll put it in my watch later. I didn't even know there was a reply to it. I did a whole 19-minute video ranting about how Aoi Zaizen deserved so much better, and she did, but I've got to go with what the writing team gave her. They gave her 3 wins against characters that dueled once. She put up a great fight against Bowman. She's a very, very high B tier, fringe, almost A, but the writing team just really, really badly mishandled her, man. They really did. That being said, I mean, Aoi is still one of the better written Yu-Gi-Oh girls. She's the second best Studio Gallop Yu-Gi-Oh girl. I mean, the only Yu-Gi-Oh girl that I would have ahead of her, Studio Gallop-wise, is Aki. There's a few bridge girls that I'd probably put ahead of her, but like, I mean, she was, for Studio Gallop, those 6 shows, she was one of the best girls, easily. Shoichi Kusanagi is going to join Aoi, and these 2 characters I really do like, personally, quite a bit. Kusanagi was good. I mean, I wouldn't put him in S or A. I think he played his role super well. He was an awesome, chill Playmaker best friend character. His duel against Playmaker was super emotional. B tier, good character, good dude. Emma is also gonna go next to the Hot Dog Man, and she's gonna be a B tier here. Emma is also a very good character. I mean, who'd she beat? She beat Brave Max. I know some of you guys will say that deserves S tier, but yeah, she's mid B tier for me. Yeah, Blood Shepherd, I'm going to go C tier. I actually really liked Blood Shepherd's backstory. I think his backstory was one of the most realistic with his mom, with what happened to him, with artificial intelligence taking control. I love his backstory. That being said, I think him as a character grew very stale very quickly. Didn't really like his duel style. Blood Shepherd he's all right. He's going to be a high C tier for me. This one's interesting. Go. Go is very interesting. I know a lot of people hate Go, but I'm going to have to put him in B tier, man. I'm going to have to put him in B tier, and I'm putting him in B tier because I actually really enjoyed what they did with his character, where it was that classic Hollywood breakdown, the fame that he was chasing and that he had didn't really pay off. All the fans loved Playmaker. They didn't like Go anymore. And Go became very bitter, and he became very spiteful, and he turned his back on his original values. And I think that was, I probably did say that he was irrelevant in 2019. And you know what? I'd still stand by that. But sometimes you can be irrelevant and you can be a B tier. Just look at Robopi for the first 100 episodes. So I'll stick with that that quote and this ranking. I'll put Go as B tier. Naoki is gonna be a C. As much as I like Naoki, you know, he's a funny character, but he's C tier. I enjoyed some of his comedic timing. I enjoyed his duel against the Knight of Hanoi. That's the only thing that keeps him out of the complete dumpster here. But he's C for me, because some of the comedy for him really did land for me. Can't put him higher than C. If you want to put him in F, I'm not going to argue that. I'll give him a C here. Akira Zaizen, man. I absolutely freaking loved Akira. And I'm going to put him in A, dude. There was something about Akira that... And I always think I liked Akira more than the average Joe. But there was something about Akira that I always really, really enjoyed. Something that I really related to. I think he was one of the more relatable characters for me personally. With the struggles of that work-life balance, ruining a relationship with his sister. It didn't ruin... I mean, he was able to save it. But that was something that I really resonated with, because I've been there, man. I've been there in past relationships where sometimes I've looked back on it and I'm like, you know, maybe I did spend too much time on my work and I lost out on a relationship, or I lost out on a friendship. And through all of that, I mean, Akira, you know, trying to do everything he could to keep his younger sister safe while being really kind of handcuffed by Queen and not able to do a lot of what he wanted to do to make the Vrains a better place and make Soul Technologies a better company. And seeing him kind of go behind Soltech's back in order to do things how he felt was the right way. I don't know. There was a lot that I relate to Akira in regards to. There was a lot I respect Akira for. And I love how he handles himself constantly. And Akira Zaizen for me, A tier. Maybe that's a bit higher than the consensus, but I really, really loved Akira from a personal level. Dr. Kogami, oh boy. I mean, I'm putting him F. I mean, honestly, screw Dr. Kogami. What he did with the Lost Incident was horrible, but then also, like, he just kind of died randomly. He wasn't... No one felt bad for him. He wasn't written to be, like, a tragic villain. Maybe you felt a little bad for Revolver. I'm fine if you feel bad for Revolver. But Dr. Kogami, man, he was just an asshole, and I just feel like the goals he tried to accomplish could have been accomplished in much better ways than kidnapping 6 minors, forcing them to duel, starving them, torturing. He was a horrible person, and it wasn't written from like a Thanos perspective where, like, okay, I kind of get what he was doing. Nah, he was just a dick, and he was forgettable, and he was horrible. He's honestly like on Leo Akaba level of how bad and how incompetent of a villain he was. You know, villain. I'm gonna put him in F, and I don't really have any issues with that. Faust, I'm also gonna put I'm gonna put him in C. He was all right. I'm actually gonna put these two in C tier because I really enjoyed their personalities and their duels with Playmaker and Aoi. I'm actually gonna put Gnome in F. Gnome, completely forgettable. All 3 of these were okay. I definitely liked Vira and Faust more than Gnome, And I'm not putting Gnome in C tier and putting Vira and Faust in B, and they're not in the same tier, so that's kind of why I have the two of them in C and Gnome in F. Yeah, the Lieutenants, they were there for the Another arc. That arc felt very, very fillery, and we didn't really see much of them after that. We know Vira and Faust kind of took care of Revolver, kind of, and Gnome is just this weird science freak, and his duel against Go is easily the most forgettable of those three. So, yeah, I'm pretty safe with that. We got one guy left, and I told you earlier in the video that we had two S tier characters, and, well, kind of spoiled it for myself a little bit, right? Revolver, S tier, one of the best rivals we've ever gotten, one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh characters we've ever gotten. Every time he was on the screen, just commanded a scene. Like a classic rival character does. And you know what? He did double duty, which not a lot of true rivals do. For the entire first season, he was your antagonist. For the entire second season, he was that classic rival, but you never could trust him. Even in that third season, he was going to go against Playmaker if he had to. And that's kind of a story that's lingered into Duel Links a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But, man, Revolver was such a good character. Him and I were probably the two best looking back on it. And then, you know, I'd have Lightning up there as well. That's probably your trifecta. But if you're talking S tier, super, super good characters, it's Revolver and I for me. Those are, and by the way, those two don't hate each other. Revolver hates the Ignis. So I think it's funny that it's ended up that way. But yeah, there you have it, guys. My Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS character tier list. Let me know if you kind of mostly agree with this tier list. Let me know if you completely disagree with it, or if you slightly disagree with it. Let me know if you think I got some completely wrong. Maybe you think Haru should be in A tier. Maybe you think I should be in C tier. Explain it to me in the comments. I would love to know your reasonings and all that stuff. Some other characters that are not here in this list. Queen, I would put as C tier. I wouldn't put her as F, but she was majorly disappointing. However, she did have that sinister moment with Earth that really made everyone terrified of her. So she had those moments where it was like, holy shit, you saw the potential of her being a horrific, heartless villain. The writers just didn't do anything with it. So I'd put Queen at C, and I'd probably put Pandora at C as well. A character that you're opening Pandora's box. Can you control her? We can control her for now. Well, they never did anything with her. So C tier, Topologina Nabi was her best moment, and that wasn't even really because of her. So, but yeah, there you have it. That is my Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS character tier list. Again, if my voice was hoarse, if I sound exhausted, well, it's because I am, and my voice is my throat's on fire. I'm not going to lie about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be having an Arc 5 tier list for the characters in Arc 5 up soon, probably in about a week. To everyone who's here in the chat, everyone on Twitch, thank you guys so much. And everyone who watched the video and is still watching, thank you all so, so much. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patron, Panther J, to my Diamond tier patrons, Latrell Smith and Jesse Woods, and to my Egyptian God tier patron, Pink Penguin. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon and whoever is a YouTube channel member. You guys help me out so, so much. And if you want some exclusive channel perks, definitely check out both of those sites and features. Be sure to check out my channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content. And until next time, I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.